So in today's video, I'm actually going to show you step by step how I'm setting up a campaign for a client. I'll take you through the whole setup, so even the research and idea phase, how I come up with the content and the creative content for the campaign, the ad copy, the structuring, targeting, and absolutely everything. So it's going to be quite a long video, but hopefully you'll learn some new things and it's going to be valuable for you. So let's get right to it. So the product I'm going to set up a campaign for today is called Lumi Motion Strip 3.0. This is a client that we onboarded in the beginning of this year. We already have been running some campaigns for them for a while with very similar products. It's also motion lights. So I already have a lot of context to how this product works and what people care about and why they buy it. But the first step that I would do is to go through the product page, fully understand the nuances of the product and also understand why people are buying it. This product currently has 36 reviews. So the first thing that I always do is just read through the reviews and see if there's any specific features or benefits of the product that people really care about. Because usually there's one or two that are the most common reasons why people would buy a product. And when you understand those, you can focus on those in the ad and the ad copy as well, which is going to make everything more effective. So that's the first step. So we'll just go through, read this, and try to understand. So you can see some people use it in the garage, people use it in different parts of their home. So everybody has different use cases for the product. So it looks like people really care about the aesthetic. So that's an important point that we want to get in the ads, get people to understand that it can actually look beautiful in your home. Convenience of it, it's something that people really care about, and people have very different use cases for it. So my takeaway there is I'm not going to focus too much on just one use case. I'm going to be a bit broad and try to explain how people can use it in many different scenarios and many different parts of their home. So other than that, the other thing that I'm going to do is just look through the content that's already there. And I also ask my client to send over some content. So we have some video that we're going to put together. All right, so this is the content that my client shared with me. So this is an amazing clip. This is something I can use to put some text overlay to create a hook. That's also something that we often see work really well on social media. Keep it simple, show the product and show a facial expression, and then you can put some text over it. The amazing thing about this is he's not saying anything. So we can use this and put many different hooks or captions on the first clip of the video. So that's a great thing to have. Then showing how to charge the product, showing how easy it is, that it has USB-C charging. This is a more commercial, professional video style, so we can probably fit that in somewhere. So we'll see where we can put this, but this is just 1 second. I would like to have it a bit longer, so let's see if we have anything else. So this is the founder, a video of himself walking around showing where he uses the product. That's great. This one is great as well. Just something that we can incorporate into the video and put some more text overlay to tell a story. And again, a bit more commercial, professional video style here, but we can definitely use that as well. Really just shows people walking in to a room and then the light illuminates. That is the main point of this product, right? People just want to put them in different parts of their home and automatically lights up when you walk by it. All right. And another potential call to action or hook clip where you can play some text overlay. So that's great. And another use case. So amazing. A lot of content we can use there. So the thing I'm going to do now is to get some creative ideas and read through and look through some hooks that we can potentially apply to these kind of videos that we have here and put together to a full edit. All right, so I come up with 3 hook ideas, and the process of how I came up with these was just scouting through the internet. So I just found this blog post right here from plan.com, and I read through some of their hook ideas, but I didn't really copy any of them. I think stopped scrolling one, I kind of copy, and then I filled in another part of another hook idea that I had. So the reason why I do this is just to get my mind starting to think about ideas and get creative. And usually I find that I need to get some external input before I can twist that and make that into my own ideas. So just scouting the internet, going through other people's hook ideas helps me think of my own hook ideas. So that's what I did. I came up with these 3 initial ideas, and now I'm going to make the body section, so what's after the hook, and the call to action as well. So I'll script that out and show you my thinking process behind it and how I'm going to apply it to the actual editing of the video. Okay, so I've now now gone ahead and actually added in a few comments with each hook and each section of this video script, just to kind of explain my thought process. And so hopefully you can get some inspiration from this to make your own script as well. The reason why it's great to have a script like this is that you become very mindful of how to structure your videos. And also, if you're not making the video yourself, this script can easily be used and you can send them to a content creator and they can make the clips that you need to really fit the different parts that you want to include in the video. So they can make a clip that works really well with what you're wanting to communicate with the video. So quickly just talking through the thought process behind every hook that I put in here. So the first one, I wish I'd known about these years ago. Now this is a very open-ended statement, right? Like why and what is this? And there's so many questions that a viewer that had never heard about this product before would have when they see a statement like this. So the point behind here is just to make them ask a subconscious question. It all incentivizes the viewer to continue watching, because they can expect that that curiosity will be satisfied if they just continue to watch the video. So that's the number one hook. This is the one that I personally think will work the best, but just because we're always testing, I added a few more hooks so we can see how they perform compared to each other. The next one that I have is stop scrolling. It's time to upgrade your home. Now the reason why I put stop scrolling is because we know that we get a lot of the impressions on Instagram Reels, and I know that users on Instagram Reels are a bit like TikTok users. They're just scrolling mindlessly through videos. So in order to actually catch their attention, we need to stop them from doing that. Directly tell them stop scrolling and it's time to upgrade your home. If anybody has their own home and they might be in the phase of upgrading the home or renovating or whatever, this will be relevant for them. And everybody that doesn't have their own home or whatever, not interested in upgrading their home, they will just continue scrolling, and this will send data to the algorithm that these people who stop and watch a bit more of the video are more likely to be interested in the product. So it's just going to help the algorithm learn quicker by filtering out people. Now the number 3 here is just telling them this is why you need the Lumi motion strip. So it's an open statement, right? Now they're going to ask themselves, why do I need it? Or the only way that they can get this question answered is by continue to watch, because in the body section of the video, that's where we explain why they need it. First clip is just I can navigate my home without a single touch. The light illuminates just by detecting that you're in the room or that there's some movement around it. So the reason why I say this is we're not wasting any time explaining what the product is. We're just going straight to the main value proposition of the product. And that's just because we don't want to waste any time here. If people aren't interested in a product, we want to make sure they stop watching now so that the targeting can optimize and we can find people who are actually interested. Second clip, and the length here is just estimates. I'm not exactly sure at this point how long they're going to be, but around this length I think is good to have the time to read and listen to these statements. But yeah, it's important to keep in mind to on social media nowadays, especially keep the video dynamic and fast pace, because people aren't really, the attention spans, as you probably know, is very low these days on social media. That's why I keep it pretty short. The next section here, the second clip of the body, is also just explaining the product, that it lights up with just the presence of being in the proximity of the light. And then we're making sure that we include one potential concern that people have, the fact that they have to actually install the light in their home. That's friction point and a potential concern that we want to just make sure we take care of in the ad itself. So we just say that it's installing it is so easy, even my 3-year-old could do it, right? So that is really a way of telling that this is very easy to install. Instead of just saying that, oh, it's easy to install, like tell them in a way that makes them fully understand how easy it actually is. And then we have the call to action, and this is extremely important. You don't want to wait too long until you get to the call to action, because there's always going to be a high percentage of the viewers that drop off. Now, in the beginning, when you're launching the ads, it could be a good thing that a lot of people are dropping off, because the algorithm is still learning and trying to find more relevant users that could end up becoming customers. But after a while, you want to make sure that the drop off isn't as high anymore, and you want to make sure that it doesn't take too long before the viewer can actually get to the next step, which is actually buying the product. So in the call to action, 2 things we include here. We're telling it in like a conversational way. By the way, I heard they're doing a spring sale. So spring sale implies urgency, because it's a sale that is for spring, and spring is not forever. So it implies that it will go away, which is creating urgency. And then we have an incentive to buy more than one. So if you buy 3, you get 1 free. And the reason for that is we know that we need to have a pretty high average order value. So we need to incentivize that in order to get high enough return on ad spend to profitably scale campaigns for this product. So yeah, that's the thought process behind this script. Now, what I'm going to do now is actually use this script in a tool called Murph. Murph is an AI voice generator. So you put in the text and then it will create audio that you can use for your videos. So this is what I'm going to use. It's a paid tool, but I don't think it's too expensive. And I would highly recommend using it because you want to make sure you have both captions and audio. So unless you actually made your own audio, which is actually better, but the client in this case didn't have the audio for these videos. So we just add that on with AI. And AI is pretty good these days, so it works pretty well. So I'll show you how to do that. So I'll just add in first hook and the body section here. I'm downloading it and adding it into my video editing software, CapCut. So I'm going to show you how I put it together there. So I'm now inside CapCut. This is the software that I'm using to edit the video ads. So as you can see now, I've added in the clips that I want to use. So we use this clip right here where you can see his face and the products in the same clip as the hook clip. And then we go straight into explaining product. We make sure to have a fast pace and the total length of the video, 13.18 seconds. So we like to keep it below 15 seconds, sometimes even 10 seconds if the product is fairly easy to explain. And that's just because when we get a higher percentage of people watching through to the call to action, then that also gets more people to actually click on the ad. The click-through rate, it gets better and more people buy if you have the right people clicking through. So if we're able to effectively communicate what the product is, how it can solve some of their issues, and we can also get to the call to action pretty quickly, then that's probably going to be an ad that's more effective than a longer version where more people dropping off before you actually get to the call to action with the offer. So this is the first clip with the hook. I wish I'd known about these years ago. And then we go straight to showing how he uses it, so you can navigate his home without a single touch. Then you can see actually where he puts the products. And then another use case right here, tech is so smooth, it lights up with just my presence. And then you also see people in the background, just the lights going off with people in their presence. So the video and the text and the audio all works together in terms of communicating the value of the product and how it works. And then installing, showing how that is easy. And then a cold click here from the founder. And then we get to the call to action after 9 seconds. Pretty effective here. If you buy 3, you get 1 free. So that's how we put together the video. And I'm now going to play it for you so you see how it sounds. I also put some nice little music on it just to make the audio sound even better.
I wish I'd known about these years ago. I can navigate my home without a single touch. The tech is so smooth, it lights up just with my presence. And installing is so easy, even my 3-year-old could do it. By the way, I heard they are doing a spring sale. If you buy 3, you get 1 free.
Now I'm going to show you is how I structure the campaign, how I set up the targeting, and how I will apply this video ad into Facebook Ads Manager or Meta Ads Manager. First thing we're going to do is to click the create button. Then I'm going to set up a sales campaign. Click continue. Facebook will automatically want you to set up Advantage plus shopping campaign. But in this case, I'm going to use a manual sales campaign. So I'm going to click this one. And the reason for that is that I want to have control of how we run the tests, how we set up the targeting. The Advantage plus shop campaign just takes care of all of that for us. But in some cases, that could be a good thing. But right now, we want to specifically test a specific setup. So I'm continuing. The first thing I'm going to do is just give the campaign a name. So I already have a name for it. So it's going to be an ABO campaign. So we're going to set the budget on the ad set level. And I'll get back to explaining the reason for that. It's a top of funnel campaign. So we're trying to reach out to new potential customers. And then what product we are including in the campaign, I also make sure to always have that in the campaign name. Now I'm going to turn off use catalog, then scrolling down to budget section. And then I put ad set budget because we want to put the budget on the ad set because we want to set up a broad ad set, but also a retargeting ad set. So the first ad set that I'm going to set up is going to be the broad one. So we're going to use this one to try to find new potential customers for the business and for this product. So I'm giving it the name broad, exclude retargeting, because retargeting is going to be a separate ad set. So we don't want them to overlap. Then you go down, we're going to select the performance goal. Then you go down and select performance goal. So in our case, we want to maximize the value of each conversion. That's because we're optimizing for customers with higher average order value. Then I'm selecting the pixel. Conversion event is going to be purchase always. Never do add to cart or anything else. If you actually want purchases, make sure you tell Facebook that. For now, we're going to not use the ROAS goal. We're also not going to use the dynamic creative, and that's just because I want to have full control over the different variations that we test in terms of both ad copy and the creative elements, so video and images. The daily budget, I'm not going to set that right now. That is totally up to you depending on how big of a budget you have to use. And yeah, it's very a personal decision based on your business. Now we're going to set up the first ad. So select your page and give the ad a name. So in this case, I'm going to specify which hook we're using in this ad. So hook 1, and then also going to specify what product we are having in this ad. Now ad and ad set and campaign name is just for you to keep things organized and structured, and it really helps me making decisions of what ad to cut, because I can easily just look at the name and understand which ad this is, and also understanding where the results are coming from without actually going into every ad every time and watching through to see which one it is. Just having a specific name for it and a good campaign and ad set and ad name structure is really helpful. Now I'm going to add the video, and while it's processing, I'm just going to click next, then making sure the format is okay. What you can do is here do one by one, but in this case make sure that all the text and all the elements of the video are coming through. So in our case, it looks to be this clip right here. It's almost out of the clip, but we can definitely still use it because you can see the product. So in this case, I'm going to select one by one because the video works fine in that format, and this one obviously make sure that you use all the real estate you can. For this one, I'm just going to use the original one and click next. Now, what you can choose to optimize, there's quite a few things here. You can add catalog items, relevant comments, text improvements. So these are all ways that Facebook and the algorithm can optimize your ad and test out different variations. So one I always keep on is relevant comments. Catalog items aren't necessarily relevant in this case because we're talking about a specific product and we don't want other products to come up under here. So I'm going to turn this one off in this case. I'm also going to turn off text improvements because I don't want Facebook to change where the text appears. I don't want them to put the primary text as the headline or the description as the headline or switch things up. I want to make sure I have full control over that. So I'm just going to keep this one off. You can keep the relevant comments on, visual touch-ups, you can keep that one on and click save. Then destination, you want to put in the URL for where you want people to land after they click on the ad, and that's going to be, in our case, the product page. Now, make sure that you're aware about where you're sending the traffic. If you're sending it to your homepage, so the main page of your website, that could be an extra friction element, because if you're advertising one specific product in the ad, but you're sending people to your homepage, then they have to actually go and find that product on your website after they click on the ad, which is adding a friction element, and that can make it so a lot of people actually don't convert. So in our case right here, we're specifically talking about this specific product, so we're also going to send them directly to the product page where they can buy this product. Then for the tracking, this is a bit advanced. You don't need to set this up, but we like to do this and we like to see where the traffic is coming from. First and foremost, the source is going to be Facebook ads. So by using URL parameters, you can usually see in Google Analytics or in your Shopify reporting section where the traffic is coming from. So sometimes the actual tracking with the pixel isn't that reliable. So having this extra setup makes it so that you can more easily figure out which ad is getting you the most traffic, or is the most effective at getting people to click onto your website. The next thing we're going to do is campaign name, ad set name on this section right here, and then we want to have the ad name as well, and then apply. So now you should have all this data appearing in either your Google Analytics if you use that, or as we use in this case, the Shopify reporting dashboard for the traffic and the traffic source. Now there's still a few steps that we have not finished, and that is adding a primary text. And we also need to add a headline, description, and we need to make a conscious decision of what call to action button we want to use. So in this case, I would use shop now because we're telling people to actually buy a product, and this is the most effective call to action button for that use case. But now the next thing we need to do is to write out a primary text, and this is the text that appears above the ad, and it's also usually what people see first when they're scrolling on Facebook newsfeed and sometimes also Instagram newsfeed, but specifically Facebook. So as you can see, the first hook of the primary text, which appears in the top of the ad in the Facebook newsfeed, is playing well with the same hook that we have in the video. So the primary text and the video itself is playing nicely in harmony together, which I think is important. And then after that, you get people interested, you get them to continue to read, and then you get to call to action as well. So as you can see, it's a very short, simple, and straight to the point primary text. We have a hook. We're telling the use case of the product, and we're telling them exactly what to do. So get themselves a light, and then we have an incentive to do it now with some urgency. So we have spring sale, and then again we incentivize them to buy 3 to get 1 free. And again we're adding some scarcity and urgency by telling them that there's limited stock, so they have to be quick. And then again we're adding the link to the product page here, and that is because the more places people can click to actually get to your landing page, the higher the click-through rate is going to be. The headline: spring sale, buy 3 get 1 free, so the offer. And then we have a description as well. This one you can't see on every placement, but it's still nice to have, because on the desktop placement, as you can see here, it will be an extra thing to add to the ad to make it even more effective. So you can see the 30-day money back guarantee under here. So that's the current setup. Call to action button is shop now, and we added tracking as well. Now I'm going to do the exact same setup for all of the other hooks that we made. So it's going to be 3 different ads, and all with the same format for the ad copy. So I'll add the hook in the primary text as well as in the video. And then after that, I'll show you how we're going to set up the retargeting version for this campaign. And after that, I'm going to add those into this ad set, and then we're going to set up the retargeting ad set, where we're only focusing on the existing people that already know about some of our other products or have been to our website or social media pages, and we're having a specific budget for them, as well as the same ads, but just making sure that we split the budget between what we do to get new customers and what we do to inform existing customers. Okay, so I've now set up the 2 other ads. As you can see, I've kept the same format. So in the primary text, I use the same hook that I used in the beginning of the video. And then for this one, I actually changed up the rest of the primary text a little bit. Instead of saying stop fumbling in the dark, I'm saying no more fumbling in the dark, because we're already using stop in the first sentence of the primary text. So I just want to make it flow better. And then the last version, this is why you need a Lumimotion strip, same hook as we have in the video, and then the rest of this text with the call to action and the offer. So the next thing I'm going to do now is set up the targeting. So this one is going to be the broad one. This is the one that goes out there and gets us new customers that haven't heard about our products or brand before. So I go down to the targeting section, show more controls. We're not going to be targeting Sweden, we're going to be targeting UK. Sometimes by default it's just selected the region of where the ad account is set up, but we are going for United Kingdom. All right, then the rest we're gonna let open, except we want people that speak English. And then I'm going to go down and switch to setup with more controls. Now, as you can see, Facebook are really trying to make me do as little as possible here, but because I have a lot of experience and I understand how to set things up, I'm going to switch setup and back to the old way of setting it up. So we're going to do all genders, custom audiences, and we're going to add some exclusions in this ad set right here. So first I'm going to set up the audience that I want to exclude. So we're going to do custom audience. Then I'm going to do website and do the last 90 days. Make sure you have the right pixel selected, and everybody that visited our website in the last 90 days, I'm going to exclude. So just give this audience a name, create audience, done. So now you see by automatically it selects include, but we want to exclude. Let's go to add exclusions, right? And then we're going to do another one as well. We're going to select Instagram account and then select your Instagram account, because I manage a bunch of different accounts. All of them come here, but I want to select a specific one. Purple lighting. Then we're going to do everybody who engaged with this professional account in the last 90 days. And then we give it a name, IGE, just Instagram engagement. Boom. And we're going to add this one to the exclusion as well. And then the last one we're going to add, Facebook page. Next, select the right account, select the correct page, and everybody who engaged the last 90 days, Facebook page engagement. Now, as you can see again, it by default puts it to include, so you have to deselect and add it to exclude. All right, so now we have set up the broad ad set that are going to go out there and get us new customers. But now we're also going to set up a specific ad set just to retarget people that are already aware about what we're selling or our brand, or I've actually seen our product before. So I'm going to duplicate the ad set and just change the name to retargeting. And then we're going to go down to the targeting section here. And instead of excluding here, we're going to include. All right. Okay, so now this is our retargeting ad set. All of the 3 ads, same ads are added to both ad sets. And the next thing we're going to do is just select the budget for each of them. And then we're going to publish. So my suggestion is to go with a much higher budget on the broad ad set, and maybe 10 to 20% of that budget you spend on retargeting. That obviously depends on how big of a retargeting audience you have. If you have had a lot of traffic on your website and a lot of people engaging with your social channels in the last 30, 60 or 90 days, then you could apply more budget to the retargeting. But just be aware that usually in the beginning, the retargeting ad set is going to work the best. It's going to get you the best results, but over time, this one is not scalable because it's a smaller audience, and it's the broad one that will be scalable once things are starting to work. So that's what we're going to do now. So for the broad ad set, let's go down to budget. For this, I'm going to do just simply 1,000 kroners, and then we're going to do, let's say, 20% of that. So let's go with 200. And then we're going to select both ad sets and click publish. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you set up a campaign. This is the structure that I like to go with when we're running a new product launch or something new. We want to make sure we separate the retargeting and the cold audience, just because that makes it easier for us to adjust the budget on these two ad sets. Now, another reason why I set it up this way is because in the beginning, as I said, you will get better results for the retargeting, but you still want to push more budget towards the cold audience to warm them up and inform new people about your product. Be aware that when new people are seeing your product and your brand for the first time, there's always going to be a delay from when they're first seeing your brand and your product to when they're ready to buy. So that's why the retargeting audience is working the best in the beginning, because these people are already familiar with your logo, with your brand, and with your products. So they're going to convert quicker. But after a while, there are not going to be any more people like that to convert. So you need to warm up wider part of the audience. You need to go wider. And that's why I have it set up this way. Now for the bid strategy, as you can see at the moment, we're going with highest value. And that's because we're optimizing for high average order value customers. The same would be for highest volume. The only difference is the algorithm isn't taking into account the value of the orders that's coming in. But the bid strategy is fairly similar. And the reason why I start off with this bid strategy instead of a cost per sold goal or ROAS goal or a bid cap is because we want to get this product out into the market and we want to get some impressions and some data. Over time, when we get more stable results, we might switch to a ROAS goal just to keep the spending in a more controlled way and make sure that we have more control over the profitability. But now in the beginning, we're just investing in data. And that's why I'm starting off with this bid strategy. I made some more videos explaining the different bid strategies and how they work. So you can click here or in the link in the description and watch those videos, because there's a lot to talk about around that topic. So I'm not going to cover that in this video. So now we set up our first campaign, and the next thing we're going to do is just let this run for 5 to 7 days. And then we're going to look at the data, see which of the 3 ads are working the best, which one has the most volume and the best ROAS and CPA. And then if we have obvious results, we just kill the worst ones and keep the best ones. And then we add in new ads and try to outcompete it. And that's what we do every week. We try to outcompete the best performing ads, and we always make new ones and learn from best performing ones. So if we see that one hook works a lot better than the other, we try to analyze and figure out why that is, come up with theories for why that is the case, and then we make new hooks based on those theories. So that's the process, and that's how I set up campaigns and get really good results for my clients. If you're interested in actually getting the Google Doc that I used for the hook and the body and the call to action of these videos, you can click the link in the description of this video and I'll send it to your email. And hopefully you found this video valuable. I post a lot more videos like this moving forward. So if you want to learn more about marketing, Facebook ads, and different strategies that you can use to improve your results, make sure you click the subscribe button. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.